Good morning. It's Sunday morning, June 12th, 2022. We're at the 21st annual Bolingbrook Lions Beep Baseball Tournament in Bolingbrook, Illinois. And we're about to start a beep baseball game between the Chicago Comets and
the Indianapolis Thunder.
We'll describe the game as it goes on. Right now, the leadoff batter for the Comets is Richie Schultz, number 45.
Pitch. Back ball.
Pitching for the Comets is Chad Perry. Catching is Dan John.
Set. Ready. Pitch. Strike two.
Beep baseball is a little different than your conventional baseball. All the players, with the exception of the pitcher and the catcher on the team that's up the bat, are sighted. The rest of the players, the batter and all the defensive players, are legally blind. Some do have some vision, but the rules are they will all wear blindfolds, whether in the infield, outfield, or batting.
Set. Ready.
Each batter gets 4 strikes in this game, and they are allowed to take one passed ball. In other words, a pitch can go by without them swinging.
One down.
So there are 4 strikes on that play, which means the first batter is out. And good morning, everyone. My name is Ray Macri with the Bolingbrook Lions Club, and my sidekick here today is
Giovanni Francesi, player for the Chicago Comets.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Ray.
Happy to work with you this year.
Well, I obviously drew the short straw, so I'm stuck here with you now.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, part of your community service sentence. And who we have up the bat here? Is this Bill?
This is Dustin.
Dustin.
Dustin Younger.
Dustin Younger.
Just started playing with the Comets last year.
Set.
Very fast.
Strike one.
Takes the first strike. Now the object of the pitcher, okay, well, this is called beep baseball. We'll get into that in just a second. But the pitcher's job is to throw to where the batter swings. They practice quite a bit. So obviously the batter, there's a ground ball to what would normally be a shortstop. And what we have only a first and a third base. Okay, they're not conventional bases. They're 4-foot cylinders that are padded, and in the bases there is a buzzer. So when the batter strikes the ball, there is a base operator. He will randomly either switch on a buzzer emitting from the base from either the third base side or the first base side. It will not be predetermined. It's a random selection, and the batter then must run to that base and touch it before a fielder is able to feel the ball. And by feeling the ball, he must have possession and lift it up off the ground. If he gets that possession before the runner reaches the base, he is out.
Set. Ready. Pitch. Ball.
This is Bill Landrum batting now, left-handed for the Chicago Comets.
If the batter, who then becomes a runner, touches the base before the fielders have picked up the ball, it is considered one run. There is no second base, there's no stealing, there's no walks, there's no leadoff. So,
ready, pitch. Strike two.
Amazing feat when you consider these people are legally blind. Those that aren't totally blind are wearing blindfolds, and they are just swinging in their normal rhythm, and it's up to the pitcher, who's a teammate, to put it in his strike zone. Foul ball down the right side.
30.
Each base is 100 feet from the plate. The bases are 10 feet into foul territory. There is a baseline traditional baseline. However, the bases are set back in foul territory to avoid any type of collision between the runner and a fielder who might be pursuing the ball on that side.
Pitch.
There's a line shot down the first base side. The runner is running to the third base side. And there's a run.
Bill really got a hold of that one. Sure, put it right in his sweet spot. That's when he hits the ball on a line drive like that down the right field side. That's how you know Bill got a hold of it.
He sure did.
And Bill has hit 2 home runs in his career for the Comets. Home run line is out at about 170 feet. And if you do hit a home run, it's worth 2 runs in BeepBall.
Right. There's a chalk line, semicircle in the outfield. I believe it's 170, 180 feet. If it lands there on a fly, then it is a 2-run homer.
Set. Ready. Pitch.
Swing and a miss. The name Beep Baseball comes because we have is a 16-inch softball that has been cored out, and embedded in there is a transmitter that does give a beeping sound. There's a ground ball up the middle, running down to first. And the ball was fielded before he reached first, so that's 3 out.
You okay, dude? You want to hear 30 again?
Okay, Indy Thunder people are coming up the bat and leading off. I'm trying to see his number.
The speaker starts coming loose on that one, Jerry. That's a sprinkler, old man went down.
I think it's Gerald Dykes, number 10, leading off for the Thunder. Giovanni, you know, the pitcher is on the batter's team also. Isn't he also a fielder? What if they hit a ball to him?
So if they do hit the pitch, if the ball hits the pitcher, it's considered what's called a dead ball, which means the pitch, it's a do-over, essentially, and they'll do the pitch over from whatever the count was when before he hit the pitcher with the ball.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready. Pitch. Foul ball. You guys go.
So in addition, that would obviously at least relate to me, a non-player, is that the pitcher can't do any fielding intentionally. I mean, I could see him getting hit accidentally, but he can't impede any other defender. There's a line shot down the right side. Base runner's going to the third. And that's a run for Indy Thunder. So first batter gets a run across for the visiting Indianapolis Thunder. Today we do have 2 teams in this 8-team tournament from Indianapolis. Team on the field is Indianapolis Thunder. We have 3 other fields with 3 other games going on now to comprise all 8 teams playing today. And the other Indianapolis team is the Indianapolis Edge.
Pitching for the Thunder is Darnell Booker, who is pitching instead of Jared Woodard, who did get hit in the jaw last week, broke his jaw, and is out for the season now.
Wow, terrible injury.
Here we go. Ready. Pitch.
Fly ball right in the center of the field. One player misses it, next one picks it up. Prior to the runner reaching first, so there's an out.
Good play. One of the hardest balls to field is one that's popped up in the air. Not the easiest thing to track the ball, try to get in front of it, and still make a play on it before that runner reaches the base.
Yeah, I can imagine. And hustling out there to get a closer look to at the play is our home base umpire, who's also a Bolingbrook Lion, Billy Hurth. We have base umpires at the first and third. Their whole job is to a runner. If they touch the base, they just raise their hand. They don't yell out safe or out because that could interfere with either a fielder hearing the beeping, so they must remain quiet. It's a visual signal, so that home base umpire can tell when that base runner has reached that particular base, and also at the same time watching a fielder if they have control of the ball and lift it up for the out. So many times it's a bang-bang deal, but those base umpires are a very important part of this game.
Here we go. Ready. Set.
There's a ground ball right up the middle, a slow roller. Defenders are charging in on it, hustling down to the third baseline. Got control. Little scrum out there in the middle. There are 3 guys going for the ball.
Yeah, called out bang play, but Danny Hernandez made a play when that ball's hitting the center like that, especially for the Comets defense. There is a possibility of one of 3 players that can make that play, and you saw right there everybody converged. They have to communicate, and Danny called them off and made the play.
Yeah. You know, Giovanni, for our viewers at home, sometimes they may see, well, are these guys tripping on defense? Why do they seem to be falling down? It looks like, well, what's the purpose of them hitting the ground?
So when out on defense, obviously if you got a ground ball, the easiest way for people that are blind to block it is to get on the ground, get wide, horizontal on the ground, so that there's the most amount of body to be able to stop that ball. And for the Comets, we ideally want that ball to hit you right in the chest.
It certainly makes sense to me, but it's just another aspect of these beep baseball players that have to develop skills that we sighted individuals do not have to. So just tremendous athletes all around. There's a hard liner to the second base side. 2 men dive for it. Second man backing up the first, picks it up for the out. So that's the end of the first inning.
Yep, that's the end.
And right now we'll take a break.
Number 6. All right, top 2. Defense ready. Batter ready.
Okay, here we're at the top of the second inning. Who do we have leading off here, Giovanni?
I didn't even hear. I'll tell you the truth.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure.
It's a shorter man.
Set. Ready. Pitch. Foul ball.
Numbers are 28.
Good job, Al.
And that is
20, Alex Gamino. Alex is this is his third year with the Comets. Been developing, and he's coming along, playing real good defense, and starting to get some pop in his bat. Unfortunately, if you don't play baseball from
Set. Ready. Pitch.
if you don't play from the time that you're a kid, like most kids do, you got to relearn how to bat, and it takes some time to do.
absolutely.
Set. Ready. Pitch.
There's a pop-up over the pitcher's head. Fielder grabs it around, picks it up.
Good job. Way to be aggressive, James, and talk. Way to communicate and talk.
That hit sounded good, and
Yeah,
it looked good.
it was good. Well,
Unfortunately, the defender right there to make the play.
right. I umpired 2 games for the Comets yesterday, the team that's up the bat, and that's one of the better hits that young man said. As you said, he's new with the team, fairly new with the team, that batter, and he hit a solid ball yesterday. I mean, just today.
1 down. Defense ready. Batter ready. Paycheck, please.
Yeah, no, I know that.
From our vantage point, we can't see the back of the jerseys with the numbers, so we'll try and identify who the batter is for the Comets. Number 47.
47, this is Daniel Hernandez. Another his third year with the Comets.
Okay.
Set. Ready. Pitch.
Is it foul ball? Just beyond the pitcher, there is an arc painted out on the ground, a 40-foot semicircle And the purpose of that is any ball, whether hit on a fly or ground ball, must pass that line, that 40-foot circle, to be in play. If the ball dies before it reaches that line, it is considered a foul ball. There's a pop-up to the second base side. Field is right there. He kicks it. But defense recovered and made the put-out. We are here, as I mentioned, Sunday morning, June 12th. We are at Volunteer Park in Bolingbrook, Illinois. We're at the corner of Lindsay Lane and Lily Cash Lane, just south of the Bolingbrook Recreational Aquatic Center. Gorgeous day, the forecast rain, but we're not going to let it happen, Giovanni.
No sun shining right now. It's a beautiful morning here in Bolingbrook.
Batter ready. Base check, please.
There were 12 games here yesterday. All 8 teams played, 3 games. Started at 8 in the morning, at 11 o'clock game, and then a 2:30 game, and it's just been a heck of a tournament again. There's a high fly ball down the first field line, and it's foul. One of the jobs of these base umpires too, when the runner runs to whichever base starts buzzing, they can touch that base any way. They can slap it, they can run it over, they can kick it. Not on purpose, they're just trying to touch it. That generally means that the base is going to be knocked over, so the base umpires are responsible for getting it right back in the position at the 100-foot mark, make sure it's upright, make sure the buzzer is facing the batter because they have to listen for that sound so they can gravitate either to the first or third base whenever it's buzzed off. Up here we have number 45.
Richie Schultz.
Richie Schultz is a veteran.
Back to the top of the lineup here for the Comets.
Right, he's a veteran, isn't he?
He is. Been around a long time. In the Cleveland game yesterday, Richie came up in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 outs, game tied, and had a walk-off run to win the game for the Comets.
There's a ground chopper over to second base. Runner, boom, easy play for the defender. It was hit right to him. Yeah, you mentioned that walk-off run last night. I happened to be umpiring in that game. It was extra innings. It was 4-4 until that point, and wound up being a 5-4 game. A very exciting game. Both teams pretty evenly matched. It could have went either way, but fortunately for the Comets, who's the Chicago Comets, our home team, they came away with the victory.
Yeah, home field advantage was definitely in play yesterday.
Right. We've had a lot of people help responsible for the Bolingbrook Lions. We're the primary sponsor of this tournament for the last 21 years. And we do fundraising to provide most of the expenses that are necessary for this. We do have many donors that help us out and help the Beep baseball teams be able to come to Bolingbrook and enjoy a weekend here and compete in a sport they all love. And we love helping them out. The village of Bolingbrook is very helpful with us. Our mayor, Mary Basta Alexander, has the support of the village trustees and the village staff. We're playing on Park District property, which is maintained through the Bolingbrook Park District, so they contribute in many different ways. We can't name them all. And throughout the game, we'll mention some of the other people that help support us to have this Beep baseball tournament every year.
Bill, let me just tell you, or Ray, sorry, let me just tell you that the Bolingbrook Lions do an excellent job. Now, this is the best run tournament in the country, hands down.
Well, thank you. I'll certainly pass that on to the other Lions members, and let's wait after this pitch. You're swinging a miss. Where else do some of the Beep baseball teams play?
So we go to Indianapolis. We'll be going down to Champaign, Illinois in July. And the World Series this year is in Beaumont, Texas at the end of July.
There's a ground ball, again, over by second base. Gets past the first fielder. Two guys, and he's out. Giovanni, you mentioned a World Series. What does that comprise of? You know, a couple teams, a lot of teams, 2 teams?
So we call it the World Series of Beep Baseball, but it's actually a tournament style event. This year there's going to be 18 teams. There's been as many as 22 teams that compete for the World Series of Baseball. There's teams internationally that have come from Canada, the Dominican Republic, and Taiwan.
Wow, so it's obviously not just a local tournament.
Nope, it's the World Series of Beepball for a reason, because teams coming from around the world.
Well, we're witnessing the game between the Indianapolis Thunder and the Chicago Comets. There's a fly ball deep over the short second baseman's head. It's amazing how these defenders can gravitate to that ball by just hearing the sound. The field coaches call out a zone number, so it alerts the players in that zone. But still, they gravitate over there, and for us sighted people, we don't have the keen hearing that these players do. But it's just amazing how they can zero in on that beeping and get to the ball and surround it and pick it up and make the put out.
And that was Kalari Gertley Jackson who made that play. She's made both defensive plays so far in this inning.
Yep. She's been with the team a few years, I believe.
Been with a long time, yep. And obviously, she is the best female player in the league, no doubt.
Here we go.
And
here's a line shot between the shortstop, third base, traditionally. Comet dive, go for it, laid out, picked it up. It's well hit, but sure hands by him. Within our organization, we do have the Bolingbrook Alliance Foundation. We are a 501c3 charity, which means that any donations, and we do seek them, it is a tax-exempt corporation. So any donations, it is legal to deduct. Unlike many organizations, they're not a 501c3, so don't put that down on your income tax if they're not a 501c3, because it's not legitimate.
Set, ready, hit. Good boy. Good swing.
this is Dustin Youngren again, back up for the Comets, his second plate appearance today. His last appearance.
Ready, hit.
We now have a breeze blowing in towards home plate now, so some of these balls are going to hang up, the fly balls, and I have yet, I've been doing this quite a few years, to see the fly ball travel at 180 feet to get that 2-run homer, but
Doesn't happen very often.
I only see 8-12 games a year, so you guys that travel around can see it a lot more. We're also being assisted by 2 base umpires. Third base is a Bolingbrook Lion, Dr. Fred Grasky, and the first base umpire is, there's a pop-up to third base side, just past the 40. Oh. There's a safe. There's a real close call.
Bang play for sure, but you see the speed of Dustin there. Beat out that play.
Sure was. So I mentioned the first base umpire is Lise Hirth, who is the wife of home base umpire Billy Hirth.
Home run.
Up now, Bill Landrum.
Ready.
Scored a run on his last plate appearance.
Great check, please. Be ready, Toby. Set. Ready, pitch. Strike one.
Strike one. Chad Perry, the pitcher for the Comets, number 23. He's been doing this quite a while too, hasn't he, Giovanni?
Chad, I've been in this sport 19 years, and he was here when I got here, and he was here way before. His dad was actually visually impaired and played this game, so Chad's been a part of this game since he was a kid.
I thought he was a teenager when I first got involved in this, but I think he also has, I recall past, maybe a daughter that's also involved.
So he's had both his daughters involved. He's had a couple of his sons also involved.
Wow.
And he's got some younger ones coming up through the pipeline that I'm going to guess one day may also be helping out.
That's great. Keep it in the family.
Ready, pitch.
Beepball is a family affair. A lot of generations of players and kids that have come through. And I mean, when you think about it, Beepball's been around 40 some odd years, 45, 46 years, and just a lot of great people throughout all the cities across the country.
Right. And of course, it's great, you know, when these people travel. I mean, whether you're driving from Chicago or you're flying in from San Antonio, whatever it is.
So right there, they changed the ball. So if the defense isn't able to hear the ball as well, they can ask for a ball change to get a louder ball.
Well, that transmitter that's embedded in the ball, well, it's pretty sturdy. You've witnessed some of these guys and ladies actually smack that ball pretty hard, and sometimes the electronics just don't hold up. And it tells you the power that these hitters have.
Set. Ready, pitch.
Foul ball. Now yesterday, Giovanni, I think in the first game, we went through 8 or 9 balls because the transmitters got rattled and can no longer use them. So,
unfortunately, the balls, just kind of the technology inside of the ball hasn't caught up to the strength and the conditioning of batters and the pounding that these players are able to put on the ball. So it's something that's being worked on, and hopefully sometime soon we'll have a ball that lasts longer.
Right.
Sometimes you get one that lasts the whole game, and sometimes you get one that only lasts one pitch.
right. Like anything else, anything made by man, something can go wrong. So it is technology though, but we don't mind supplying additional balls, and of course each team supplies their own. It's when we sponsor this tournament, the expenses for the individual players and those teams, it can be pretty significant.
Absolutely.
If you have to travel, whether you drive, with the price of gasoline now at record highs, or you fly, hotel fees, everything else is involved when you go to a tournament like this. And you generally have to travel because there's not too many teams in this city of Chicago. It's pretty large, the Chicago metropolitan area. And how many teams are in the Chicago area?
There's only one. Used to be 3 or 4 of them. Unfortunately, it's not easy to get blind men and women to come out and play.
I understand.
Landrum did wind up striking out at that at bat, and now Gerardo Rivera's up to bat.
A little early on that one. Yeah, you people familiar with traveling baseball teams, you can appreciate what's involved in imagine. You have, you don't have necessarily a sighted person for every blind player. So there's a lot of volunteers that help out, carpool or take fans together. You know, it's really a group effort by families and friends to get these players around the country.
Yeah, fundraising, just like for the Lions, it's a year-round thing for the Chicago Comets as well, in order to allow the Comets to pay for gas, pay for airfare. We are flying to Beaumont, Texas for that World Series, so everybody knows how expensive airfare is right now, so it is quite an expense, but
Sure.
we do it. We love to play the game, and we'll continue to keep on fundraising so that we can travel and we can keep everything viable for blind men and women that are blind men and kids that are coming up the pipeline now, and some that don't even know that they're going to be blind at some point in their life.
There's a foul ball down third base line. Well, I know the Bolingbrook Lions and the people of Bolingbrook, the citizens that know about this. It's not a household word yet, unfortunately. People they don't understand this. They think sometimes they hear about it, they think it's a youth league, and don't realize that these are adults. Mm-hmm. And what is the age range, would you say, Giovanni?
The age range is 16 to 50. I mean, there's a player on there's a player on the Cleveland Scrappers, Wilbur Turner. I'm pretty sure he's about 70 years old and he's still going.
I saw him. I did a game yesterday, and I remember Wilbur as from 20 years ago when we first started this tournament, and Cleveland was here. Now, 2 years ago, of course, we had the pandemic, and no one was able to have this tournament. Mm-hmm. And I think that had to be really. This ball down by the shortstop. A couple guys diving for it. Hold him safe. Our vision was blocked by a couple of players, so we couldn't make that ball.
Umpire did call him safe, but he's gonna check with the base judge and see what they saw.
That's right.
Not an easy thing for the home plate umpires to judge a player picking up the ball versus the player hitting the base. Unlike in regular baseball, there's obviously a throw to first base, but this case it's two simultaneous things that happen, and he did wind up reversing his call and calling him out, unfortunately.
Yep. Okay, we're ready to go here in the bottom of the third inning. The wind has picked up a little.
The score is 2-1 in favor of the Comets.
Close game.
Top three, right? Bottom three.
You know, just wondering, people might wonder, why are these games only played on weekends? Do some of these players, I'm sure some of them work, but maybe you know some of these players and what kind of work they do. And,
here we go. Ready. Hit. Next one.
So a lot of different jobs from people who run their own businesses, whether it's vending or office coffee service, to people that work in a call center, working for a health insurance company, or for the Chicago Lighthouse.
There's a pop-up over to the second base side. Players running to third base, plays at first base. Another instance where the umpire will have one eye on third base and one eye on first base. So many of them are employed. They're not just, they're just sitting at home.
Yeah, nobody gets paid. It's not a professional league. We do it for the love of the game, and obviously everyone works during the week, and we play games on the weekend. We practice on the weekend, so we try to squeeze in a weekday pre-practice at nighttime after work for everybody to get a little bit extra practice.
Well, that's good. I'm sure a lot of people did not know that. Here's a shot up the middle. Runners running the third base side. Two players dove third. That's the teamwork. Converge on that ball is really teamwork. The runner was moving pretty good. He's down a little. He's up now. The runner, sometimes they hit, they tumble. Occasionally they do get hurt. they're running at full speed. And if you ever tried doing that blindfolded like I did many years ago, and I took about 3 steps before I had a mouthful of grass.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of injuries happen at the bases. Guys taking a tumble over the base, and one thing you learn early on in beepball is how to hit the base and make sure to tumble through it. Don't go straight down. If you go straight down, that's when injuries can happen.
Right. And so far it's good. Every base runner that hit a base has knocked it over, and there's no Wi-Fi for these bases. These are hardwired from the scorer's bench where there's a base operator, and they're hooked together, a series of connectors, and sometimes knocking that base over disconnects this. So we have to do a little field maintenance between plays every now and then.
That's for sure.
And occasionally they'll knock a speaker out of commission.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
A speaker that buzzes in the base, just like the ball.
Ray, if you notice, the defense right now just called for a timeout. So whenever it's too noisy, defense can call for time. Umpire will grant time until either the plane passes or motorcycle passes by, so that we can, so that everyone's able to hear the ball before we start play up again.
Yeah, and that certainly makes sense. And sometimes people, well, there's not anybody cheering at a game. Well, that's obvious too. I mean, we cited people have to learn all these rules that the players cannot hear when there's people yelling. Once the play is completed, whether the runner's safe or out, of course, that's time to cheer.
Yep, one of the hardest things for the fans to do is to hold their applause especially when you see a ball that's been absolutely tattooed, and obviously your first reaction is to start cheering, but you got to temper it, let the play happen, and then cheer afterwards.
Right.
We're 3 outs there. We're now heading into we ended the 3rd inning, and Comets still winning 2-1.
Another longtime sponsor here of the Beep Baseball Tournament here in Bolingbrook is Cabinets for You, a locally owned business for many years, owned by Roger Hirschman. Cabinets for You is a full-line professional company that do all kinds of kitchen remodeling. So again, Cabinets for You, thank you for your many years of support.
We need some runs, man.
Today's video is being provided by, and not only today's, every year that I've been involved, is by a gentleman named Joe Berger, who is Home Movie Saves is the name of his company. And for many different events, you can call Joe at area code 800-580-4346. That's 800-580-4346 for home movie videos. Our home movie saves for all your video needs. So give him a call. And thanks to Joe for his many years of support.
Here. Set. Ready. Go to our pitch.
There's a liner up the middle. Players running to first base. Shortstop jump right in front of that. Looked easy. Sure make it look easy, Giovanni.
There's no doubt these
Come here. You're
men and women are all excellent athletes, and as evidenced by that play, able to get down, stop the ball, and make a good play. Back to the top of the lineup now for the Comets and Richie Schultz.
One down. Ready. Batter ready. Base check, please. Toby, Icky Toby.
One of our fans is unhappy with the play. One of our junior fans. There's a line ball to the right side of the field. We're blocked by some of the players and fans. Can't really see what happened there, but he called him out. Number 3's up.
This is Dustin Youngren again. His third time up. 2 outs in this inning. Comets still winning 2-1.
And again, the people that set up the fields here, the umpires, the majority of them are Bolingbrook Lions. We have other Lions clubs. We have different organizations that people want to get involved in just this tournament. And of course, they're all volunteers, so it keeps expenses low. But there are still quite a bit, and that's the need for the fundraising.
Three strikes on Dustin Youngren right now. Strike 4, 3 outs.
Okay, we're back to live action here, Giovanni.
Yeah, bottom of the 4th inning. The game is tied 2-2. Indy Thunder up to bat here.
A real defensive game here. The wind has something to do with it, I think. At least the fly balls are being held back. Good cut.
This is James Michaels batting for the Indy Thunder.
Here we go.
Once again, the batter does get 4 strikes, but in terms of foul balls, there's no limit to the amount of foul balls he can hit.
Here we go. Count 30. 30. Yep. Here we go. Ready. Pitch. Take. Ball.
There's an example of a pass ball. They just let it go by. Sometimes a batter just wants to collect himself a little more.
Out there.
Yeah, actually on the Comets, we would tell you that if you're not ready to swing, you shouldn't be in the batter's box. Not a lot of guys taking the pass ball for the Comets.
Right. No. Well, the 2 games I did yesterday, I think there might have been 4 people that did do that, and that's fine. Comets, I think, are a little more aggressive. You know, a lot of first pitch swings too.
Absolutely. And James Michael struck out, so we got 1 out here.
Off the defense, ready. Batter ready. Let's go, Imran. You're your first again, so. All right, Imran. Good swing. Man. Here we go. Ready. Good.
Big swing. You know, Giovanni, we talked a lot about the talent and the unbelievable talent these players have. You know, being without sight. There's a pop-up. Just past the 40-foot line. And he's out. But you have a couple sighted players in the pitcher. Tell me about the pitcher. You know, does he get to practice with these guys? And you know, what's his role? So, you could explain. I tried to explain it before, but
one of the most, pitcher, one of the most important positions, and batters need to practice with that pitcher so they can develop the timing it takes for the batter to swing that bat, come through at the exact same time every time. That way they got a better chance to hit that ball. The more they practice, the better that the pitcher can be at placing that ball right in the batter's sweet spot so he can crush one.
And he's got to obviously memorize the swing of each player.
Absolutely.
Strike one.
We use like a giant, let's call it a life-size poster that's marked with where each batter's swing comes through, so that the pitcher can hang it up on the wall and be able to pitch to it during the off-season.
The foul ball.
Toward you, Alex.
Now, many times the batter will hit the ball, and he knows he's hit it. He's going to run. He's not waiting to hear anything, fair ball, foul ball, or anything. He's going to run until he hears a call that would cause him a foul ball to stop. Otherwise, he's off to the races. The only other time you would hear it is if there's a possible collision with the runner and a fielder going towards the foul line. Any of the officials, any of the umpires can yell the word stop, and that will immediately put the brakes on everybody, because there has been some serious collisions over the years. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of collisions, but fortunately they're not real serious. But other than that, they take off.
Safety is obviously a key thing in beepball, and the sport takes a lot of precautions to ensure that.
Another foul ball.
Good reaction, Alex. Straighten it out, bud. Coming your way.
Count full.
Just wanted to show you the Beep Baseball that we talk about. This tournament's named after the Beep Baseball tournament. What we have here is a 16-inch softball. Inside here there's a transmitter, and this is prevented from beeping right now, but this is what the players listen for on defense.
The ball is crushed.
Long shot to right field. Way over past everybody.
That ball was by Bill Landrum, right on the right.
Yeah, he tagged that one.
Now up Gerardo Rivera. Gerardo is a rookie, just started playing with the Comets literally 2 months ago.
Wow.
And a lot of expectations from that we have for him. Obviously, since he's playing here today.
Batter ready. Mason, please. Strike one.
You know, we're interested in learning about a little bit more about Beep Baseball, and especially the Chicago Comets, our home team here. They can just go on the internet to chicagocomets.org. That's one word, Chicago Comets, comets.org.
Ready, pitch.
Ray, on that website you can get information about the team, along with information nationally, rules of the game, what's going on with the Comets, and things that are coming up in the season.
Good to know. The fly ball over towards third base. Players right on the defense. Wouldn't really held that one up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, held it up just enough for James Michaels there to make a play on that ball. All right, next up we got Alex Camino.
One of the things we're happy to provide, and I guess we must have heard it from somewhere else, many players do have a seeing eye dog with them, or probably a better term for that. Companion, seeing eye
dog, absolutely seeing eye dog, guide dog, service animal. A lot of different terms for it, but it's a seeing eye dog. Helps a blind person get to work, be able to walk in the city, and offer a little bit of protection, right? A little bit of safety for somebody that's a little bit apprehensive about walking around, especially in a big city like Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, there's a ball. It's. Wow. I think that ball was beyond the arc, and the player diving for it pushed it in.
hit off him, deflected off, and couldn't scramble in time to make the play. And Alex scored 4-2 now in favor of the Comets.
Yeah. Seeing eye dogs, it's everybody loves them. They always seem to be so friendly, especially child friendly. And many times, people come to the game and their family, and the dog they do have to watch. So we have provided a doggy daycare here for those families that come and take a little break from watching the dog. The players are playing, the fans want to watch a little bit. So we do have a pet sitting area out here, and have volunteers that just love to watch the dogs while the families can watch the games. So we're glad to provide that.
And doggy daycare is just one of the many things that have evolved during in the many years of this of the Bolingbrook Lions BeepBall Bash.
Yeah.
I believe this is the first year for it, and the only other tournament you're going to see it is at the World Series.
Really?
Absolutely. And, great thing for guide dog owners to be able to know that their dog's being taken care of well while they're playing.
Yeah. Well, our current Bolingbrook Lions president, Paul Benetazzo, he has umpired at several World Series games, and I think he picked it up from one of those, like you mentioned. That's where you first heard it.
Absolutely.
So I think this is probably our second or third time that we've done it.
All ball by Daniel Hernandez.
We got a little light rain coming in and on us here.
It wouldn't be a BeepBall tournament in Bolingbrook if we didn't have some rain.
Yes. We've had some torrential downpours in late June. And generally this time of the year, mid to the end of June each year, we host this. Takes a lot of coordination, the planning, make sure the fields are available.
We actually have to blame the coach of the Comets, JT Herzog, during the opening ceremonies. He took credit for all the beautiful weather, and no sooner did he say that than in the third game we started getting some rain.
Yeah, boy, he put the kibosh on it all. Speaking of dogs, we have a fan here cheering his hit. Well, there's a long ball hit to right field. It is rolling and rolling, and it's finally stopped. Hustle by the defender, but that ball was just poked into a pretty strong wind.
Yeah, he got a hold of all of that one. Comets rolling now here in the top of the fifth inning.
Yeah. And of course, like any sport, you need a couple swings.
Yeah, it's you know, just right now, Chad's definitely Chad, the pitcher for the Comets, is on, and he's found everybody's sweet spot. So
Yeah, he did.
I've actually seen Chad. I believe it was about 17 runs he put up in one inning.
Wow.
This was several years back, but it was quite an inning.
Wow.
It was actually against the same Thunder team. Yeah, a good 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago.
Ready, pitch.
That is knowing your players. Oh, there's out. Third baseline.
Go. Ball up. Get to a base.
So, between pitches here, Giovanni, tell us a little bit about your coach, JT Herzog.
So, JT Herzog, when I started in 04. Comets had won the World Championship in 03, so he was already here. Excellent coach, even better man, and you know, he's a real asset to the game of beepball, more than just to the Comets. A lot of little things that he's done with the Comets that has resonated throughout the league.
There's a line ball grounder, second base side through the first infielder. Second one chases after it, corrals it. Not quite pick it up in time. So another bang bang play. Run for Indy. JT, his father was very instrumental in the Bolingbrook Lions in getting involved in beep baseball. He was a Lions president 20-something years ago. A good friend of mine who has since passed on, and got us involved, and we just did the demonstrations with beep baseball. Just to let some of the people see what would happen, and before you know it, we got involved in this tournament, and it's been a 21-year tradition with us. Would have been a little longer except for COVID. But
JC was a great man. Only got to know him for a couple of years, but
Here we go.
great couple of years, and obvious where JT got it from, because JC not only a lot of great things for the Lions, but great family man as well.
right. And his father, of course, being instrumental with beep baseball, he did a lot of other things as the president of the Bolingbrook Lions, because this is just one of the many events we do. But we have to thank him for that. There's a shot. Oh, just almost took the pitcher's head off. Right up the middle. Runners are going. Oh. Runner hustled down, went a little wide of the base, actually went past it, tried to recoup to come back, but the defenders were there.
Yeah, not missed bases in this game will cost you games. When you don't touch the base, you have to get back and get to the base before the defender picks up the ball in order to score a run.
One down.
Right.
Defense ready. Batter ready. Right check, please. Down. Here we go. Ready. Pitch. Strike one.
We'd like to acknowledge here at Bolingbrook Rentals Unlimited, who's been a sponsor of this tournament since its inception too, and they also do provide there's a lot of chairs involved and tables here, so we do get many of the materials lend out from the village of Bolingbrook, but they have a limited supply, so Rentals Unlimited always chips in. So again, thank you to Rentals Unlimited of Bolingbrook.
Here we go. Ready. Pitch. Foul ball.
Tip. Also like to acknowledge Warner Enterprises, who's been like a 3-4 year sponsor, a very strong sponsor of us, and we'd like to Offer our thanks to them again and hope to be with us again next year.
Here we go. Ready. Good. Shoot.
Go base!
Third base.
That low.
That was a foul ball.
So on that play, you might have heard the batter call for late base.
He was on.
And what that means is he thought the base was not on in time when he hit the ball. Now, doesn't mean that it was off. And in this case, I'm going to tell you that base was on. The umpire heard the same thing, and is calling them out. He's calling them out. So you do have to concentrate. Sometimes the bases are a little bit low in tone. So that's something we practice. When we practice when it's loud. That way when we get out here and it's quiet, it makes it a whole lot easier to hit the base. I apologize. It was a foul ball. We didn't call him out, so it's a foul ball. So he's still up with a full count. And
and probably the late call, Giovanni, is an umpire. I know this. That ball is traveling down close to that foul line, and the ground isn't lush, and it bounces left and right, and it can go foul any minute. But until it does and goes past that 100-foot mark, then you cannot call it fair or foul. So the runner, of course, he hits the ball. He knows his job is to run until he hears something else. So there was some confusion there, but sometimes you just can't call the ball whether it's foul. I've done it in the past, as I'm sure many. There's been a ball that has landed a pop-up foul and then bounced back into fair territory before it went to that 100-foot line. So that's a fair ball.
that's right.
And if you call it foul, you've just robbed the player of a potential run. They get to do it over again, but that's why there's such a delay sometimes with the calls.
That's exactly right. It's a very difficult thing for umpires and us as players. We do understand. You guys are waiting. Make sure that ball has stopped, because when it is around that line, you got no choice but to wait for it to stop in order to make the right call, so that we get the call right.
Step to your right. Bring your right foot.
You know, the Beep players, they're very enthusiastic. They're very concerned. They try very hard. Their heart is in it. They work hard, and the last thing we want to do is blow a play. The umpires do it just like in Major League sports, but we certainly try to do our best. And when we do blow it, though, the players have every right to get angry, but overall they understand that they'll make mistakes, and over the years, I mean, I have had very few people really get irate about anything. And there's been some real obvious mistakes by officiating, but they understand it. They know why it's a big part of their life. It's a game.
Yeah, no doubt that us as players, we know that the umpires, after they make a bad call, we might be angry right there in the moment, but it doesn't take more than a few minutes to be over it and move on to the next play, because you have to move on, just like in real baseball.
Sure.
It's on to the next play.
We appreciate that. That's why we come back. I mean,
Here we go.
there's just a short grounder. Player's charging it. He got it. Top of the sixth, you say? And we
5-2 in favor of the Comets.
Yeah.
Comets up the bat.
Hey, check, please.
And Beep baseball is a 6-inning game, unless, of course, there's a tie score, then we go in extra innings.
Yep.
Set. Ready. Pitch.
So we'd also like to thank Global Transportation Company for being one of our sponsors for many years. Again, it's Global Trans. And another sponsor we'd like to acknowledge at this time is Jim Finkler, who just came up with a donation at the game yesterday. So thank you, Jim Finkler.
Set. Ready, pitch. Bubble!
So Giovanni, there's only one set of games today. There are 4 games going on. All 8 teams are playing, but we started at 8 this morning. What happens next?
So after this game's over, we'll have the closing ceremonies. Give out the awards for the all offensive team and the all defensive team. And of course the championship trophy will be given out there, and then everybody makes their way home. Okay. I know, especially for the team that came from San Antonio, they're driving back. They got a 20-hour drive ahead of them, so
wow.
It's not easy. That's why we play on the weekends. We get in, some of us got to get out and get back home.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that was asked of us that we have at this area. People say, "Why are you playing so early on Sunday mornings?" It's because so the players can have the game, get their medals, trophies, any awards acknowledged, and back to work tomorrow for many of them. So give them time to travel.
Exactly. Now we got one out now in the top of the 6th here.
Set. Ready, pitch. Good boy.
Bill Landrum up the bat. Bill smoked one down the right field line his last time up.
Wow, there's a line shot to right field. Fielder over there corralling it, picks it up. Great family. Friday night, the teams came in, Giovanni, the out-of-town teams, and many of them stayed here at a local hotel, Holiday Inn. We'd also like to express our thanks to them for the accommodations. And we also had a banquet last night, and so we had 210 people sit down for a meal last night after the conclusion of our games, and
one of the, again, between the hotel's breakfast and the dinner last night, outstanding food, outstanding service that we got there at the Holiday Inn as well.
Yeah, it was good. Now Friday night, guys came in different times. They coming from all over the United States, so they come in various times. We just had a little reception for them in the Holiday Inn, with some refreshments, and we also had sub sandwiches provided by Tailgater Sports Bar here in Bolingbrook. Bob Zalewski, the owner, has been a big supporter for many years of Bolingbrook baseball, and we'd like to acknowledge him. But for all your, they have like 40 televisions there. That's why it's a sports bar. And for us sighted people, we like our sports, and sometimes you can't always get the channels at home. But he's at 431 West Boughton Road here in Bolingbrook. That's Tailgaters Sports Bar and Grill. Thank you, Bob Zalewski. Another solid hit by that young man. Oh, boy. Fielder definitely had a little trouble with that. I think the wet ground and the wet ball might have had a little to do with that. Kept going for it, and it gets sliding away. A good hustle by that runner.
Yeah, when it rains like this, you got to get 2 hands on the ball to get it up.
It is not easy.
In order for a batter to be called out, the ball has to be secured and away from your body. So you can't just you don't just stop it. You gotta lift that ball up away from your body in order to be considered an out.
Defense ready.
Yep.
Batter ready. Base check, please. Hard time. Fred, can you ask him to go that way?
Yeah, I haven't had that in a while. I've had people walk across the back of the field during a game, and of course they don't know what's going on, so sometimes we have to call timeout.
Set. Ready, pitch. Strike one.
Yeah, we got Daniel Hernandez up to bat now for the Comets.
Set. Ready. Pitch.
There's a line shot right up the middle. Running hard to third base. And he's safe.
We got Richie Schultz now back up to the plate.
I know at current time we do not have video replay, but as you indicated earlier, they are testing different systems to do that possibly in the future for these games.
We had it last week in Indianapolis, first time in BeepBall history that instant replay was used.
Okay, well, it was official then, right?
Yes.
Strike one. Again. Go.
Let's go, Billy.
Oh, I'm gonna take all this stuff.
Foul ball.
Ball.
Here we go. Here's your first ball.
Justin, you're supposed to get that.
Damn it.
Points count. I'm gonna hurt.
Little joy so far on the Comets side here, having a little fun here.
All right. Strike three now on Richie Schultz. Even though it is this early, still got quite a few frames out here today.
Yeah. Well, start out as a beautiful morning. There's no doubt. So we have a half inning left for the Comets to hold on to another victory, right?
Yep, Comets up 6-2. We're going to be heading into the bottom of the sixth.
Well, Giovanni, I'm sure so glad you were able to join us today to give us a player's perspective. I've had other people that knew a lot more about baseball than myself with me, but as a longtime player, not that you're in your twilight years, that's for sure, because like you say, there's people in their 60s, maybe 70s that are playing, and you got a long way to go for that. But
It's been my pleasure to,
your
to do the
perspective
game with you here today, Ray.
Your perspective has been great, and hopefully the fans at home. And again, if they want to know more about it, they can go to chicagocomets.org, or you can just Google in Beep Baseball, and you can get to the National Association of Beep Baseball, and they have all kinds of videos and all kinds of stuff there too. But I think all those links can be gathered on chicagocomets.org. I think there's links to all of that. So. And if you have access to Bolingbrook Cable TV, which is Channel 6 here in Bolingbrook, you can look up the schedule. This game would be replayed. Maybe you're just turning it on now and wish you could have seen more. So it probably won't be available for, right away because of the logistics of editing the tape and getting it ready to turn into Bolingbrook cable TV. So I'd like to thank all of you in advance here. The game is not over, but we're enjoying this for a little while with us.
Hey, full count.
Still first batter up here in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Here we go. Good call. One down. All right, guys, come on. Tighten up, tighten up.
2 outs to go for. So what's the record? I know the Comets won yesterday in the second game. I don't know. Or what was the record yesterday?
So we went 2-1 yesterday.
All right.
We've lost our first game against San Antonio, but we won the next two against the Austin Blackhawks and the Cleveland Scrappers.
That's a good comeback. Hopefully this will make it 3 in a row.
Absolutely. And get us third place. This is the third place game this year.
That's great. Oh, there's a line shot down by third base, off the fielder's hands. They're scrambling for it. Couldn't get to it. Again, that slippery ball, he had his hands at it, but it was moving and squirted out.
Yep, that's the reason you want to be able to square up the ball, stop it with your chest. That way the ball right there for you to be able to pick up easily. Once you start getting down by your hands and feet, you get deflections, and ball can deflect quite a ways away and allows the runner to score.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, generally, this game has a time limit, I believe, of 2 hours. Okay, at least to start the last inning is what they have had, because there has been games that have gone, longer than 2 hours. But so far, I don't think this weekend we've had to worry about that at all.
No, we haven't. And
Here we go.
Oh, there's a shot right up the middle. Player's diving for it, picked it up, and he's out. So that's 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yep, Comets up 6-2 or 6-3 now. I'm sorry.
We'll see.
And just one more out.
Yeah, doesn't mean it's over. We've seen
right.
we've seen comebacks.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
And right now, with the conditions a little wetter, the advantage goes to the batting team.
That's right.
Here we go. 2 down. Defense ready. Batter ready. Base check, please.
Sometimes you can hear the umpire or even the player request what they call a base check, and what that is, the batter would like to hear the sound of the first base buzzer going off and the third base buzzer to orient himself which way he would have to run when he hears that going. So there's a dribbler up the middle. Defender's charging in, picks it up, and
That's the ball game.
that should be the ball game.
Comets win 6-3.
Right. Well, Giovanni, I'm going to let you go celebrate with your teammates now. If you have any final words for our folks at home?
Ray, it's been a pleasure to do this game with you. And if you haven't checked out BeepBall, Google BeepBall, look up ChicagoComets.org, and donate to the Bolingbrook Lions so they can continue to do this event for years to come.
Okay. Pleasure working with you, Giovanni. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Ray.
And I really look forward to see you again next year.
No doubt. You got it.
Okay. And thanks again, folks. We'd just like to acknowledge some of the sponsors that made this possible. In addition to the Village of Bolingbrook and the Bolingbrook Park District, we'd like to thank Rentals Unlimited here in Bolingbrook, Warner Enterprises, Global Trans, Jim Finkler, Quinn Meadowcroft and Associates, a law firm here in town, Tailgaters Sports Bar and Grill, got cabinets for you, for all your kitchen remodeling needs. Again, on behalf of the Bolingbrook Lions Foundation and the Bolingbrook Lions Club, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. That was Giovanni working with me today, Ray Macri. So have a safe trip home to all our teams, and hope to see you guys next year. Thank you.